What? It's not 2023 anymore? No, it's 1992. Get your cassette players out, turn your big box televisions to BBC One, and watch Only Fools and Horses because we are back in the 90s. That's right, that's how it's going to be because this is TEW 2020 and this is my corner of the internet where I'm going to play 1992 in WWF, the World Wrestling Federation. My name is Trickster Bloom. I am now the owner of the World Wrestling Federation. That's right, that's what I'm doing. And this is a mod. This is the 1992 Chronicles mod. It's a fantastic mod. I absolutely love it. I got it from TWDB website. So go ahead and go and have a look if you want to get some mods yourself for the game. But this is the first time that I'm playing this game on my channel, and we're gonna see how it goes. But I do need to pre-warn you, I'm not very good at TEW. I'm pretty bad. So I'm going to show you my options and my preferences here. I've turned off a load of things. Gimmick effects, worker morale, booking times. I'm going to try and stick to them as best I can, but booking times are turned off. Pre-book bonuses, reminders, momentum, all those things I've turned off because this is essentially just going to be a sandbox game for me to play and have some fun with. There's no randomness frequency, there's no death frequency or anything like that. I wanted to turn that to full restricted areas, my bad. And that's what we're going to do. I have also, with that in mind, changed a few of the events that you're going to see on the channel. So as you can see, I've changed the television tapings to be live. So that means Primetime Wrestling will be on a Monday, Superstars on a Tuesday, and Wrestling Challenge on a Thursday. And they were, a couple of them, every 3 weeks, and you taped in advance. I don't like that. I like to keep tabs on what I'm doing. I like to remember what I'm doing. But I've also changed things a little bit so that we have whole new pay-per-views. Originally we had the Royal Rumble, we had SummerSlam, Survivor Series and WrestleMania. I've changed that a little bit because now we have Elimination Chamber, Backlash, King of the Ring, Fully Loaded, Money in the Bank, Unforgiven, No Mercy, and Armageddon. Basically some of my favourite pay-per-views. I'm putting them into the show to have some fun with because who doesn't want to do Money in the Bank and Elimination Chamber and King of the Ring when you have a roster that looks like this? And we just point out, I'm just going to show you the major stars here. We have the Macho Man, Randy Savage. We have, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan brother, and our Ultimate Warrior. Fantastic major stars in our company. Obviously, Warrior's out for a couple of months because of legal reasons, but he should be back in time for Mania. We have as well in our roster under the stars, we have Jake Roberts, the $1 Million Man, The Undertaker, as well as others. So Jake, Ted DiBiase, and The Undertaker. And in the mid card and below we have some fantastic talents. The Big Boss Man's here, Earthquake is here, Mr. Perfect is here, one of my all-time favourite wrestlers, and he's out injured at the moment with a back injury, but he will return. He currently manages the Nature Boy Ric Flair, so in fact we'll probably change his gimmick at some point. I'll do that off screen, but I'll get him ready for when he returns. And then just waiting to come up, look at some of this talent. We got the Animal and Hawk, the current WWF Tag Team Champions. We've got the model Rick Martel, El Matador, Tito Santana, Marty Jannetty, and Shawn Michaels. Shawn, of course, not long turning heel. We got Repo Man, Tatanka, the British Bulldog, the Texas Tornado. We have fantastic wrestlers here, and I absolutely adore this period of time. This is, I love it. It's fantastic. But I do want to put my own spin on this. This is a sandbox game, essentially. So almost like I've gone back in time. I know who's going to be good. So let me show you who I've tried to get onto our roster. Bam Bam Bigelow, Bob Backlund, Honky Tonk Man, Jushin Liger, Paul Roma, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson of the Rock and Roll Express, Shane Douglas, Terry Funk, and Tully Blanchard. These are all going to be in our main roster. One thing with the relationships that we have with other companies is the USWA, which is the company Lawler wrestles for. At the moment, they are essentially taking development workers from us. They have that agreement. So I've put contracts in for Too Cold Scorpio, Billy and Bart Gunn, Booker T and Stevie Ray, Brian Clark, Adam Bomb of course, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Kane, although he won't be Kane originally, Rey Mysterio Jr. and Ahmed Johnson. But I've gone in for Yokozuna. He'll go on the main roster, but everyone else will go into USWA developmental territory, which I think is phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to that. I do kind of want to maybe play a little bit with the relationships that we have, because Capital Sports Promotions and Super World Sports will accept workers on excursion from us. So I kind of want to see how that works. We might play with that. But of course, this is my own show, my own spin on things. So I'm going to do my own storylines, and I'm going to show you what I've got planned so far. We got the New Foundation versus the Beverly Brothers, Jim Neidhart and Owen Hart, who were teaming at the time against the Beverlys, and of course the Genius is their current manager. For the Intercontinental title feud, we've got Bret Hart versus Rick Martel. Just going to have those two do their thing. Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, this is our main feud that we're going to run with, because hell, it is Hogan and Flair. In 1992, when Flair jumped to the World Wrestling Federation, it was huge, and I can't believe, looking back, that they never did this properly. So I'm going to do it properly. Legion of Doom and the Money Incorporated are going to feud for the Tag Team Championships. Lower card craziness is just something for the Bushwhackers and Virgil to do, going up against people like Skinner, Hercules, and Barry Horowitz, who's apparently a heel at the moment. Mid-card Proving Ground is my attempt to do some sort of SmackDown 6 kind of thing, with Haku, Repo Man, Tatanka, the British Bulldog, the Mountie, and the Texas Tornado. Of course, Tatanka, Bulldog, and Tornado are the baby faces, and Haku, Repo Man, and the Mountie are the heels. Rockers Implosion, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. I really want this to be a good feud for both of them. Like, I'm so upset looking back again. Like I say, Shawn is my favourite of all time, and I really wanted it to be a great feud. I remember Monday Night Raw, Marty Jannetty popping up behind Shawn. It was huge, but the feud never got a chance to do what it had to do. And I just wish we had the opportunity to, so I'm going to try and recreate that. And then of course we got Savage and Undertaker. Jake the Snake Roberts is involved alongside the Undertaker, so I think that's going to be pretty cool. And I'm hopefully going to find somebody to team up with Savage. It could be Sid, who's currently a babyface, or it could be even Bam Bam Bigelow, or even Jushin Liger, because that would be fun. Maybe Paul Roma, I don't know, but somebody who I'm going to bring in to try and be the Macho Man's kind of guy. So the first show is Primetime Wrestling. That's a B show. I'm going to auto book a lot of the B shows. It's not going to be too big of an issue. And then we're going to go on to Superstars. So I'm going to deal with the contracts. A couple of contracts are up for renewal. I'm going to deal with that. And then, of course, I will see you when we book Superstars. I will see you then. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back. We have Superstars. Here we go. WWF Superstars, our first A show. Nothing really to tell you about before the show began. Nobody signed any contracts yet. We haven't had any new injuries or any scandals or anything like that. So here we go. I started with a pre-show match because I didn't include these guys on the main show. So we have the Legion of Doom against Jake the Snake Roberts and the Undertaker in a 69 rated match. Yeah, not much to say really there. A really good match, good pre-show match between some of our best guys. But let's start the show. We start the show with Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who is now going to be my almost commissioner now. He's better than Jack Tunney. I'm sorry, Jack. I love you, but he's better than you. And Vince comes out and he announces for the Royal Rumble that the World Heavyweight title will be on the line. If I didn't mention it before, I'll say it this time. The WWF Championship was vacant and it was going to be put forward at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And yeah, Ric Flair won the 1992 Royal Rumble. And in this, Vince McMahon will make an appearance. He will state that it's going to be the world title on the line at the Royal Rumble. Ric Flair will show up and will tell the entire world, woo, I'm going to win. I'm the Nature Boy. I'm the real world champion. And I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. And of course, Hulk Hogan will come out. And what you going to do, brother, when I win the Royal Rumble and become world champion? Vince McMahon wants to break them up. They're getting heated. And Vince McMahon tells them, you guys pick a partner each tonight. Main event. Hulk Hogan and a partner of his choosing against Ric Flair and a partner of his choosing. So that storyline, Hogan versus Flair, has started with this segment. Absolutely love it. Random match on the show. The Orient Express and the Nasty Boys just having a general match. Then neither one are in any feuds right now. So put them in a match, put them on the show. The Nasty Boys win. 55 rated match. Nothing major to write home about, but I like these guys. Virgil and Hercules. So Hercules defeats Virgil in 5 minutes 58. If you look at the booking details, the dirt sheet, Hercules got a bonus for star quality and squash master attribute because Hercules was booked to dominate this match. As you can see, Hercules to dominate. He beats up Virgil, and the lower card craze in the storyline continues. Virgil is then beaten up by Hercules and Skinner. So Virgil's in the ring giving an interview after being beaten, and here comes Hercules with Skinner to come and beat the tar out of Virgil. But out of nowhere comes the Bushwhackers, and the Bushwhackers come through and help and stop Virgil from getting a beat down, and they probably lick his head afterwards because that's what the Bushwhackers do. I don't know, I think it would be fun. It's a nice little chaotic kind of thing, and I always believe with pro wrestling that not every story has to be the best. As long as you give them something to do, I'm giving them something to do. So give you a reason to not like each other. Hercules and Skinner can just come up with some reason why they're interlocked and they've become, kind of a partnership. Next segment, Shawn Michaels. It's the Heartbreak Hotel, baby. Shawn Michaels back in 1992 had his own little talk show, and he comes out of Heartbreak Hotel and he says, there's nobody worthwhile having on my show. I'm going to have the best person ever, me. I'm going to be my own interviewee tonight on Superstars. And Marty Jannetty is nowhere near. He's nowhere close to being as good as I am. I'm the better rocker. And he just goes off and does. I'm not very good at doing the promos, I suppose, but Shawn Michaels goes off on Marty Jannetty, talks about how he's the better rocker and how Marty just cannot leave him alone and let him get on with his life. 71 rated promo. Shawn Michaels superb, working without a script. That is absolutely what we need. Decent match afterwards. The Macho Man, beats the Warlord in 7 minutes 48 with a flying elbow drop following botched interference by The Undertaker. The Undertaker, of course, starting up his feud with Randy Savage. So after the match, Macho Man's backstage. He gets jumped by The Undertaker and Jake the Snake Roberts, and they start beating him down. They start beating down the Macho Man. Oh, no, 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 no. And they do all of those things. We then have the Texas Tornado and Haku in 12 minutes 58. Texas Tornado defeats Haku. He wins the match. I'm going to try and make these guys into like the longer match kind of wrestlers. Mid-card guys, I really enjoy it. And speaking of the mid-card, the British Bulldog cuts a backstage promo. That's not very good, is it, Bulldog? 44 is one of the weaker points of the show, but he's going to take a bite out of you. And he starts talking about, obviously this is the storyline, he starts talking about all the talent in the WWF. He mentions Tornado and Haku, who have just been in the ring. He says, the talent is strong here in the World Wrestling Federation. I've come to make my way and to prove myself here in the World Wrestling Federation, the British Bulldog. Shawn Michaels then goes up against Greg the Hammer Valentine. On his way to the ring, he'll be talking. He'll actually probably get on the microphone before the match and say he's going to just show the world he's the better rocker by beating this old has-been, Greg the Hammer Valentine. But Greg wins. He beats Shawn Michaels by disqualification because of Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty gets involved. So it lost heat. It wasn't the best thing in the world. I think I may have botched that, because if Greg wins, then that means he hit. I don't know. Either way, Greg wins because Shawn Michaels. I didn't do it the way I wanted to because Shawn Michaels complained about not looking strong. Sorry, Shawn, but a 46 rated match. Greg the Hammer Valentine beats Shawn Michaels. He will get his heat back, I promise. And then we have Money Incorporated beating the Natural Disasters. This is a number one contenders match for the Tag Team Championships. The winners are going to get a shot at the Tag Team Championships. So Money Incorporated with the win against the Natural Disasters. The easiest story in the world to tell is one where a championship is on the line. And this is what we're doing here. The $1 Million Man and IRS with the win. And then Money Incorporated have an interview where they taunt the Legion of Doom. And they say, okay, fantastic, we're number one. And everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. And the price is the World Tag Team Championships. And of course, IRS will talk about them not paying taxes on their face paint or something a bit silly like that, because that's what we do. And yeah, 61 rated segment. That's not bad. This is my first attempt at really trying to book a show, by the way, so I hope it's good. It's fairly basic, but we'll see if it goes better. At this point, Hulk Hogan goes and finds Marty Jannetty backstage and says, "You know what, brother? I like your moxie, man. I like what you're doing. You say your prayers, you eat your vitamins, you do what you gotta do, and you made a mess out of Shawn Michaels. How about tonight, you be my partner?" And Marty Jannetty's like, "That's cool, man. Starting rock and rolling. We're gonna have a good time, and then I'm gonna take you partying." And Hogan's like, "Oh, yeah, brother." So they do a promo, and they do... And yeah, they're going to team tonight. Hogan and Jannetty are going to be in the main event tonight of the WWF Superstars. We then get a 6-man tag match. Bret Hart, Owen Hart and Jim Neidhart against the model Rick Martel, the Genius and the Mountie. Now obviously this does mean that the New Foundation and the Beverly segment has started. The Genius can use this as an excuse maybe to set the Beverlys on the New Foundation, which I think will be quite nice. But the main part about this is Bret Hart submits the model with a sharpshooter and Bret Hart wins the match. Afterwards, the model beats him up. The model is absolutely beside himself. How dare Bret Hart do this? Because I'm a model. And this is not right. And then we have the main event of the evening, Hulk Hogan and Marty Jannetty versus Ric Flair and the Berserker. Because I don't know, I couldn't find a better heel for Ric Flair to team with, so we went with the Berserker. And so there we have Ric Flair and the Berserker. Losing to Hogan and Janelli, of course, Hogan pins the Berserker, so he doesn't pin Ric Flair, so Rick has an out, and we have an 80 rated match at the end of the show. So that's it. Overall rating of 78. The show increased our popularity in 15 regions and lost its popularity in 9. Not a bad show, really. The angle with Vince, Ric Flair, and Hogan was right at the top, so I might want to maybe start putting those towards the end of the show, maybe. I see anything with Hogan's great. Savage, Undertaker, Roberts, those guys were good. Shawn was phenomenal on the microphone, so I need to keep that in mind. Probably have a Heartbreak Hotel each week, which will be like Miz TV or whatever. But yeah, there we go. That's the end of that show. And potentially the end of episode 1. Yeah, this will be where we leave it for the moment. Come back soon. Watch the next episode. Hopefully I'll do a couple of Superstars shows in the next episode, and then we'll run up towards the Royal Rumble. Will Ric Flair, will he rewrite history, and will he actually win the WWF Heavyweight Championship, or will we see Hulk Hogan or somebody else get a leg up and win? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this new kind of video from our channel, and I will see you next time when we revisit 1992.